What if the greatest threat to American lives wasn't foreign? What if it came from within, drawn up in an official government memo, signed by military leaders, and stamped top secret? A chilling plan created in 1962 by the U.S. military to stage false flag attacks against American citizens. They wanted to kill innocent people, to justify a war. And it was almost approved by the President of the United States. The year is 1962. America is deep in the Cold War. Cuba, once an ally, had fallen under communist control after Fidel Castro's revolution. President John F. Kennedy had already authorized the failed Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961. That mission, meant to overthrow Castro, ended in disaster. Embarrassed and under pressure, the Pentagon wanted results. And so, a new idea was born. An operation so extreme, so deceptive, it almost defied belief. Inside the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranking military leaders in the U.S., a plan was drafted. It was called Operation Northwoods. Its goal? To fabricate attacks on American soil and blame them on Cuba. The document was signed by General Lyman Lemnitzer, chairman of the Joint Chiefs. It wasn't a hypothetical. It was a written, detailed proposal sent to the Secretary of Defense. Here are just a few of the real proposals from the Operation Northwoods memo. Explosions in Miami. Attacks on U.S. cities. Fires in Washington, D.C. American citizens injured or killed, all orchestrated by their own government. Sinking a U.S. ship near Cuba. The Navy proposed sinking a boat of Cuban refugees or even a U.S. vessel, then blaming it on Cuban mines or torpedoes. They even discussed creating casualty lists and staging mock funerals to sell the narrative to the public. Fake funerals. Fake victims. Using remote drones to fake a crash. A commercial plane would switch midair with an empty drone. The drone would be detonated over the ocean to simulate a Cuban attack. These weren't vague suggestions. They were broken down into timelines, logistics, and media manipulation strategies. The goal? To manipulate the American people into supporting a war against Cuba. On March 13, 1962, the Operation Northwoods plan reached the desk of Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. From there, it was meant to be passed along to President John F. Kennedy. But something happened. John Kennedy rejected the plan. Not only that, he was reportedly furious. Shortly after, General Lemnitzer was removed from his position as chairman of the Joint Chiefs. The plan was buried, hidden from the public eye. For a while, for decades, Operation Northwoods remained classified, a secret lost in government vaults, a rumor whispered by conspiracy theorists. Until 1997, journalist James Bamford and the Assassination Records Review Board, created after the John Kennedy Records Act, uncovered the document. It was declassified and made available to the public. The reaction? Shock, horror, denial. But there it was, black ink on white paper. Proof that the U.S. military had planned to deceive and endanger its own citizens. If John Kennedy had approved it, would the U.S. have gone through with it? Some say yes. Others say Northwoods was just a contingency, a worst-case scenario. But Operation Northwoods opened the door to a darker conversation. If a government is willing to plan such deception once, could it happen again? The Gulf of Tonkin incident in 1964, now widely believed to have been misrepresented, led to full-scale war in Vietnam. And in the years after 9/11, questions of government manipulation resurfaced. Operation Northwoods proved that the unthinkable can be planned at the highest levels. Today, Operation Northwoods is studied in military ethics courses and political science programs. It's cited as a textbook case of state-sponsored false flag operations. It's a reminder that democracy is not immune to secrecy, manipulation, and abuse. And that blind trust can be dangerous. The people behind Northwoods never faced public accountability. But the truth got out, and now it can't be erased. Operation Northwoods never happened. But it could have. And that's what makes it terrifying. A government trusted to protect, plotted to betray. It was stopped. Barely. But how many other plans have stayed buried? Subscribe for more real stories that were never supposed to see the light of day. Until next time, question everything and read the fine print.